What were you saying though about, you said something about this place and what it is?
Yeah. I just feel like this high school is a dumping ground, that parents come here and dump off their kids and they don't really care about them. I don't think any of these children, young adults, know that they're valuable, that they're made in God's image. And it's like the one boy who obviously doesn't want to be at school. He runs off campus, he's smoking a cigarette. When he came back, I said, do you know that you're made in the image of God? He goes, there is no God. I don't believe in God. So these kids don't even know that the inherent worth they have as a person. So why would they even think about an unplanned pregnancy, that child having value? There's 2 girls I talked to that they actually stopped and talked to me and was like, well, what about, if a child's conceived in rape? And I show them the picture of the 2 ultrasounds of a baby conceived in rape and one that's not. And, they can't choose. And I said, well, that's exactly the point. They're both babies, both valuable, both have a right to live out their life. And those girls, still like, oh, well, what are you going to say to that baby when it grows up, that their father was a rapist? And I said, yeah, you tell them the 2 options. Either you parent the child or you put the baby up for adoption. Both of those don't involve the killing of the child.
Well, are you glad that we came out here?
I am, and even though I come out here and I feel like I fumble over my words and I don't have the perfect response, I have to just trust that God's word comes through and that his truth comes through, that we're out here showing them the reality of who the baby is, why the baby deserves life, and leave the rest up to God.
Tell me, are you glad you came out here?
Yeah, it was a productive morning. We got here later than we wanted, but there was a decent number of cars, and we handed out pamphlets to students that were walking in. There's a residential area just to the side of the school, so there's a decent amount of foot traffic coming in. At least 2 people in cars that drove by that told us that we couldn't be here, that we were on school property, and that security was going to come out and tell us to leave. And we never saw security. Security didn't come out. And I assume they were parents. These people were in cars, so couldn't really talk with them very long. But if they were out here, I'd ask them why, even if this was school property, why is it that our presence here is wrong? Is it, even if they disagree with us, why is it that they're trying to shut us down? Because most people would agree, if you ask them, regardless of their viewpoint, or at least I would hope so, that truth doesn't need to be protected. I'm more than happy to stand out here next to a counter-protester supporting Planned Parenthood or abortion, and they can have their voice and I can have mine, and I'm confident that people can reason between them and see that this is a child and that this is destroying a child. And the reality is that they know that they can't compete with that argument, that truth wins and they're not on the side of truth. And so they're out here trying to shut us down by claiming that we're on school property and that we can't be here, which we are on public property. But that's really beside the point. The point is they're resorting to one of the only options they have, and that is to silence us, because they know that they can't compete with the truth.